Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another episode of Ridiculous Loadout. As you may already know, this is a series I started way back when in the Battlefield 3 days, basically whoring myself out for cheap views, running a suggested loadout from one of you in the comments section. Today a suggestion comes to us from Ultra GT Man 15, who suggests a Rainbow Six Vegas 2 loadout consisting of some of my favorite bits of kit here in Battlefield 4. Um, Actually, Rainbow Six used to be one of my most favorite games to play early on the PC. When multiplayer games were just starting up, and the CD, I remember the jewel case that I bought in BJ's actually stated somewhat proudly online multiplayer through the internet, and it was kind of one of the first games to ever do that, in the FPS camp, and it was quite a bit of tactical fun, and all back when then, but I haven't actually played Vegas, somewhat regrettably, I suppose, but maybe I'll pick up the next Rainbow Six game if I can find some friends to squad up with, and someone to actually play with on a team. Well, back to the loadout, which consists of the G36C, as you can see, the ACOG scope, an angled foregrip, a laser sight. Also with me is the Compact 45, which is probably one of my favorite pistols in the game. I mean, I love everything about it, outside maybe the wimpy sound that it makes when you left click. On it I have the suppressor, the ghost ring, and the green laser sight. Sorry, I didn't have time to unlock my regular laser sight, or the red one unlocked, because for whatever reason I had the green sight already, the green laser sight already unlocked, I suppose, out of the randomly acquired battle packs. And well, you owe me by now. I pretty much hate the entire battle pack setup, but I highly doubt EA will get rid of it anytime soon, because it's yet another way to make up new charges for them, and as well as the ridiculous shortcut kits. It's kind of like triple dipping into the gamer's wallet. First you pay for the game, then for the DLCs, then if you want straight up weapons, without grinding, you unlock the shortcut kits and the battle packs and so on. Well, the kit also comes with a Wally, the disposable bot, not to be confused with its beefier cousin, the Freedom bot, which is found on the Dragon's Teeth maps. You all know me by now. I pretty much find the bots more or less useless in this game, and I don't think they should have been included in the game at all. And also with me I have the slams and the flashy bangs. Now, I had a few loadouts with the G36C before already on my channel, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good gun in Battlefield 4 that got patched a few times by DICE over the course of Battlefield 4's lifetime. So really, most of these times that I ran it, the results in the stats could have been just a tad different. I mean, I get why DICE, is patching and rebalancing some things in the game as they should be, but what I'm not a fan of is nerfing of the weapons that comes after using something for, let's say, a year, and DICE coming in and nerfing its stats into oblivion, to the point that most of the hardcore guys have to relearn the weapon pretty much from the ground up, like the Shroud, for example, which got nerfed to shit, in its turning radius and its missile time to live. And, well, now it's making a comeback somewhat, being buffed back to its, time to live and its speed, after many people have really voiced their opinions. I didn't like the uselessness of the new straw. And I mean, I'm all for DICE making the grips now a pro and con situation each time. You know, where some grips improve things like your recoil, but then make your bullet spread worse and so on. And I don't think level cap is right in saying that attachments must only be positive and there should be a single positive perfect setup for every gun. I mean, if that were the case, everyone would only run that setup, that kit in the game, and pretty much like the gun in Battlefield 3, the M16A3 with the Cobra sight and the foregrip was, there was just no reason to run anything else in the assault class because the M16A3 was pretty perfect for any role that you could throw at it. And I also don't really like the ACOG scopes in these games, and I think I've said this many times before, but well, most of these FPS games, especially in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, I think it just, the ACOG scope just feels weird to me. I've said this, as I said many times before, but it feels like you're holding it on, taped to the end of a broomstick that you're holding to your face. And actually, surprisingly, my concerns were somewhat vindicated when I was watching a Vickers tactical video, I believe, on Medal of Honor Warfighter, just, a few months ago. In it, well, basically in the video, the guy who is obviously incredibly experienced with all this stuff, having spent years as a SEAL, he was advising the artists on the game when they were developing the positions for the gun sights and all that stuff, and how your field of view would look in on the screen. Well, what surprised me was when he came up and said, no, this won't do at all. Bring the ACOG much closer to the player's face, as it was just too far out. And at that time, having absolutely zero experience with, any of this stuff and gunplay in real life, it pretty much, just pulling out these videos out of my ass and the stats and so on, I just felt somewhat vindicated, and it felt pretty good. But back to Battlefield 4 itself. The G36C in Battlefield 4 is a carbine, and well, as such, available to all classes in the game. It's very good. It's a cool gun, I think, though it's been patched and balanced by DICE so many times now I can barely keep up. So, according to Simtic, its stats put down a maximum damage of 24 at 8 meters, which means it's at least a 5-hit kill to the body or a 3-hit kill to the head, which to me sounds a little weird considering you have to hit someone 3 times to the head just to kill them, and humans need their heads to survive. Well, this damage drops off to 14.5 at 50 meters, which means that out to around 27 meters it will remain a 5-hit kill, and from then on increase, obviously, which is actually quite a long time when you consider that the G36C has the slowest rate of fire among carbines, clocking in at 650 rounds per minute. It also has a pretty manageable recoil up at 0.3 degrees per shot, so it might be a good idea to use this for tap firing or with the angle grip, as I am doing right now. Just click the burst fire mode on and which now applies the biggest recoil to the last shot of the burst. But really, the situation with the grips is more custom to depending on the role that you're gonna throw the gun at. When you need a bit more hip fire to the gun, you add the other grip to it, and when you need a little bit less recoil on the first shot multiplier, you add the angle grip to it. And speaking of, the first shot multiplier is actually the second lowest among carbines after the pretty much god gun, the AK-5C's first shot multiplier, coming in at 1.85 times the per shot multiplier. It's got a muzzle velocity of 590 meters a second, which obviously isn't the best, but not the worst either. And I think it might also benefit from the heavy barrel for decreasing that ADS spread, because after all, we PC elitists like to ADS our guns when shooting. And I like to use the hollow sight on it, on pretty much all carbines, maybe even assault rifles. As I said, I can't see anything through the ACOG sight, it just jumps all over the place, especially with this ridiculous visual recoil. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ridiculous Loadout, and now because I don't feel like suffering alone, Ultra GT Man 15 must also run this loadout and upload it to YouTube, and I'll accept the link down below in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one, and remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.